Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Help for the Guiltless. My name, of course, is Antoine. I'm not one of those people that would deny anyone their ability to speak, be it on Twitter, or Facebook, or YouTube, or even at a college, like King's College, for example. I don't block anyone unless it's an egregious amount of harassment. If you want to speak your mind, feel free. I'm what you would call a free speech absolutist. Regardless of what people think, I believe that free speech is one of the most important things that one could have. But there seems to be a group of jackbooted totalitarian thugs who have a difference of opinion. Now, you see, this was breaking news, and unfortunately, it happened to someone that we all know. Sargon of Akkad was supposed to be debating Yaron Brook at King's College, and Antifa decided to make it known that they didn't want anyone to hear what they had to say. Now, before I start reading this article, I want you to notice I'm not doing my normal thing where I'm going to be taking pictures of this article. I'm showing you exactly what happened. You can judge for yourself. When you try to silence someone through violence, through terrorism, through bullying, what you are actually doing is telling the world that you don't want their ideas heard. And the best thing that you can do is let them speak. Let the person speak. Let Richard Spencer speak. Because if you don't, you're going to draw people to him. It's the Streisand effect. Let them speak. Let their ideas speak for themselves. And if they're bad enough, people will shy away from it. People will laugh at it. People will ignore it. But when you make a big deal about silencing them, you make a big deal about hiding them away. You make a big deal, like, I don't know, storming stage of a debate, you draw attention to it. Now, I picked this up from Reason, but like everyone else, I saw it all unfold on Twitter. So Reason says, Antifa shut down a planned debate between Yaron Brook and Sargon of Akkad at the King's College. This was an act of violence via a series of jackbooted totalitarian tactics. Antifa agitators shut down an event at King's College in London featuring Ayn Rand Institute President Yaron Brook and anti-political correctness YouTube personality Carl Benjamin, aka Sargon of Akkad. Now, I do want to point out that this is an updated version of this article. Before, the author, Robbie Soave, called him a alt-right sympathizer. But he decided to retract that after actually doing something that journalists nowadays don't ever do, which is he researched the subject of what he was talking about. And he found that despite how mainstream news outlets have portrayed Sargon of Akkad, he understood that he is not alt-right, and the fact that the reports have been misleading. Benjamin claims to stridently reject the alt-right and has quarreled with its members, going so far as to send them interracial gay porn on Twitter, which is what initially got him banned. Sometimes heroes don't wear capes, ladies and gentlemen. Violence ensued and several security guards suffered injuries, according to a statement put out by King's Libertarian Society, the student group sponsoring the event. This was an act of violence, clearly intended to silence Yaron and Sargon's planned debate via a series of jackbooted totalitarian tactics that unfortunately proved successful tonight, the group said. Now, why did it prove successful? They didn't silence Sargon. As you see in the video, they did try to continue on. They tried to get everyone to sit down, but there's a problem. Antifa pulled the fire alarm. And when you do that, just like in America, the building has to be evacuated. And by the time it was done evacuating, the event was over. So yes, this was successful. On Twitter, Antifa activists celebrated their victory. Because of course they did. North London Antifa. Tonight, a group of student and anti-fascist activists successfully shut down an alt-right talk at King's College. Here's alt-right mouthpiece Sargon of Akkad after he was forced to leave the building. No platform for him tonight. Antifa, let me explain something to you. Sargon of Akkad has 750,000 subscribers on YouTube. He is almost at 1 million. You didn't deplatform him. As a matter of fact, you just made more people want to find out why you didn't want him speaking. Now, let's take a look at what fascism actually is. Fascism, often capitalized, a political philosophy, movement, or regime such as that of the Fascisti, that exalts nation and often race above the individual, and that stands for the centralized autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leader, severe economic and social regimentation, and forcible suppression of opposition. Did you hear that? Severe economic and social regimentation and forcible suppression of opposition. What did Antifa do? What were they doing? They were forcibly suppressing the opposition. You see, the fascists are the anti-fascists. And the fact that they're praising it on Twitter and taking it as a victory means so much more than them actually doing something. Because it looks good on paper until you realize Sargon has a platform, a giant platform. More people at that college know who Sargon is than probably North London Antifa. But let me continue. The skirmish between masked Antifa protesters and event organizers was captured on video, which you'll see. It's not clear who threw the first punch, although Antifa obviously initiated the disruption. Antifa threw the first punch. Antifa initiated the disruption. You're watching it. You're seeing what happens. The shutdown was premeditated. Of course it was. Activists organized it through a Facebook event. Of course they did. Now, this is a long list of people who were grouped up in this event. The KCL Socialist Students. Oh, look, socialists. Intersectional Feminist Society, because why not? Kashmir Solidarity Movement for the Comrades. KCL LGBT Plus Community, because why not? And the KCL Action Palestine Society, for some reason. The KCL Justice for Cleaners. Where do they come up with these names? And the Demilitarized Kings campaign were all involved, according to the Washington Examiner. Yaron Brook is an objectivist thinker with extremely hawkish foreign policy positions. He noted on Facebook that both the far left and the far right consider his opinions anathema. In particular, he's a staunch defender of Israel, a view that often inflames extremists who agree on little else. Benjamin has a history of making disgusting comments and defending unsavory characters. You know, like the "I wouldn't even rape you." That's what they're talking about. I'm not sure whether I'd want to sit through a discussion between these two, and there are many reasons one might object to both Brooks and Benjamin's views on libertarian grounds. That's fine, Robbie. You don't have to sit through a talk. That's the beauty of choice. You don't have to go. You don't have to be a part of it, unless you're being paid. If that's your job to sit through it and find out what happens, then I'm sorry, you need to find a better job. But they're allowed to speak, whether you like it or not. Of course, King's College libertarians should have the right to decide that for themselves. So we agree on this. We agree, Robbie. And other students have the right to choose whether or not to listen. And you're doing rather well. This is good. You are seeing that choice is important. Speech is important. Being able to listen to ideas is important. Being able to understand ideas that maybe you don't agree with, that's important too. Unfortunately, Antifa has appointed itself the sole arbiter of what kind of speech is permitted on campus. And believe it or not, the campuses allow it. They think it's a good thing. They think it's okay. They're okay with Antifa storming a stage and shutting down an event by force, attacking security guards, attacking students, attacking teachers, attacking anyone who decides to stand against them. That's okay. But Sargon of Akkad sitting quietly on stage debating someone over Ayn Rand or something is not okay. Allow me to steal Undoom's catchphrase for a second. Moron! Fucking moron! Have you understood that by silencing him you are only making him stronger, making his ideas stronger? If you don't agree with him, you are doing everything in your power to make it so he will be listened to more than anything you have to say. Because you're okay with Antifa being the sole arbiter of justice and what type of speech is allowed on campus. They get to be judge, jury, and executioner. The students that did have their faces revealed should be expelled. They are inciting Violence. Something needs to be done. They can't keep getting away with this and not anyone doing anything about it. Antifa is a decidedly liberal movement. No, it's not. Antifa is a socialist movement and a Marxist movement, and Antifa is also a fascist movement. They can say whatever they want. Actions speak louder than words. According to Anti-Fascist Handbook author Mark Bray, that means the group only cares about its own side's free speech rights. No shit. Once again, it's hard to tell which guys are supposed to be the ones who are actually against fascism. The ones who are speaking peacefully are not the fascists. That's kind of easy to tell. I've been playing this video for you over and over so you can see what happened. There's another one interjected that's only 30 seconds long, which is a different viewpoint. This needs to stop. Something needs to be done. And it's sad that campuses are too afraid of their own students to do anything about it. Sargon of Akkad was not there to incite violence. Sargon of Akkad was not there to promote violence, to promote fascism, to promote hate. Do you want to know who was? The ones that pulled the fire alarm and stormed the stage, trying to bully him off stage. Watch the video. They go after him immediately. They go after anyone else who is trying to stop them. And then when things are trying to get in order, they continue to push. And just remember, with this incident, Sargon of Akkad didn't do nothing.
And those are my thoughts, folks. I'd love to know yours. Let me know in the comments. If you like what I do here, please hit like, share, and subscribe. And if you do subscribe, hit that little bell icon so you know when I upload. If you'd like more of me, you can always join me every Tuesday at 4:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where you can join Brockus, Zell, Lo-Fi, and myself for Proper Villains Live. Or you can always join me on my Discord. The links are down below. If you'd like to support the channel, I have links below for Patreon, Maker Support, and a link to PayPal for one-time donations. There's also a link to a very awesome merch store. But with that being said, this has been Help for the Guildless. My name, of course, is Antoine, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.